of love for them. But Jasmine and I crossed paths at the old space years ago. She applied for Peak Arts Prize. For those of you that don't know what that was, people would apply for a grant to do a show that they believed in, and she got it for 100 Potions for Puerto Rico. And I called to congratulate her, and I hadn't really known her very well, and she came in, and just that day somebody had backed out of an exhibit, and so I was able to offer her an exhibit to have that show, and me and her became friends ever since, and it's been great. She's performed at 3 Gratitude exhibits. This will be the 4th, and had an installation at one. Yeah, I just love her, and I'm very honored to have her perform tonight. And so, Jasmine Dillavou is an artist, curator, and instructor based out of Colorado Springs. She values engagement through performance art, installation, and poetry, as her work often asks the audience to be vulnerable and soft through immersive experiences. She is passionate about telling stories and currently is exploring how women and vulnerable community members express their grief. Her piece is entitled Shears Alone, Shears Gratitude, where shock, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, hope, and acceptance once were placeholders in standardizing our grief. We now stand in defiance against the blades of our pain being defined. We stand in defiance to denying ourselves the breakdown and the supermarket, the unbridled, unchurch-like fall apart. No God owns our grief. Know this, one day you pull the knife out and instead of blood, you'll see flowers. Jasmine
One day, you are sitting at the edge of a hospital bed, a stumbling, stupid mess, pretending to listen to the world. You feel unfinished, everything, everywhere. The next, you are mouth agape, breath stuck in your dried and empty throat, a bathtub reprieve where people won't see or hear you bawling or coughing or cawing. Unfurled from possible happiness, defined only by the last memory of a face covered in sticky blood and rot. A window blown open, cold, withered air gathering. Anger doesn't have a seat yet. This is when everything starts to feel unnecessary, begging everyone to stop staring at you, you helpless feather thing. Do everything you're not supposed to, like smoke inside and drink at work. But your aura is ooze and it's getting everywhere. You are an unwrapped time bomb. Totally okay, totally on fire. You are changed inside. You feel a loss as a collective, but your heart says it's strictly yours alone. You see their face in others often because the sweet longing for another chance is so much bigger than reality. It's a hopeless and silly search, and it can knock you back quickly where things still hurt, but it is mostly okay. Mostly okay. And how beautiful it is to have the capacity to experience all the suffering and all the loss and all the mostly okays. When we lose so much, it is like we get better at experiencing the ebb and flow. Like a gift of chance and love is so possible. Some part of my heart knows better now that I have more to give. And I can't explain it fully, I just know. There's a lifting that I understand better than I did before. So it's mostly okay. There's a simmer in the blood, cooking right underneath your skin. It is the most shocking thing you have felt since the big loss. You could rip the door down. You could rip your clothes off. You could fire a gun you keep lodged in the back of your throat. Everyone is so wrong and so right at the same time. Fuck everyone. You open your eyes, and all of a sudden you're pushing a shopping cart down an overhead lit grocery store floor. There's Christmas music playing. When did December get here? The skin simmer is burning straight through your clothes. You have no clue how or when you got here. All the food looks old and stale. You're walking and moving and simmering, and you are hot with anger and goodbyes. Kind of in love with this feeling. You think you'll hold on to it for a while. You accidentally bump someone else's cart, you giggle, smile, apologize. You wish you flipped the cart and started screaming and cursing and spitting, but you don't do that. Waking up sometime later to a quiet home, a quiet phone, an empty table, and you think the loneliness would be waiting for you. It's not. It's just the quiet there. It's soft and lingering and mostly harmless. It's a reminder of change and longing, and somehow also a mirror. You begin to see yourself changed, evolving. You hear things a little differently. Maybe because you're listening for the return. Maybe because you know time ends and you don't want to miss out on anything. You have a superpower now. You've seen how life leaves, and it leaves quickly without reason. Now you can slow the world. You can take it all in. You can swallow more because you know it doesn't last. The quiet isn't a monster. It's a love letter. So thank you for noticing. You find yourself crying a lot lately, like you're too busy working and writing and cleaning and smiling and you forgot to cry. Now you are falling apart at a 7-Eleven at 10 p.m. and your makeup looks awful and everyone's gonna know, and normally you're really good at not being a burning burden. Accidental breakdowns take up space and you get a grace period of tears. That is all you get. Eventually, they need you back at work, back at church. Eventually, the meetings, the bills need to be paid. The world doesn't stop just because your heart has been lit on fire. We have to keep going, right through the hot flames. Desperation, fear, and shame sort of run up and down your stomach every day. And some people know, and some people don't. So you wipe your eyes, and you fill your tank, and you keep going. It sits at the table, the thick black shin that creaks the chair. It eats loudly and gross. And you set the table every single day. And you do the dishes, and you are angry, and you don't want to cook a damn thing, and you don't want to scrape the food into the trash. Then, one day, it comes to the table small. It comes blue and airy, and it doesn't ask for a plate, and it doesn't touch the wine. One day, it doesn't come to the table at all. You sit alone, and you eat your dinner in the quiet, and you feel your life has been vandalized. It hasn't. It doesn't ask permission to leave, it just does. Mourning isn't something that you see in the mirror all the time anymore. Eventually, something else joins the table. This time less elastic and ferocious. The gratitude starts to seep in right at the end. You look around and you notice all the hot food and the flowers, and someone brought the mail in. There's kindness all around because we're not alone in our grief. We're just trembling side by side, licking our wounds, gasping for hope. The lady at the bookstore notices your puffy eyes. She offers to carry your things to your car. We're a collective heart, taking turns with the heavy stuff. It feels like a soft and kind miracle once you realize how connected we are. There's safety in gratitude. Once you let that feeling slip in, there's this sort of beautiful and warm light that passes over you throughout the evening. And the loneliness slips in. The hand extends, and it brings you back. There's the new shift.